Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a hopefully quick video, as quickly as I can make it, about a tripod. This is the Benro A373T. This is a 75mm bowl tripod, and it retails for $199. So this is kind of advertised as being more like a travel adventure tripod, and the reason that it is so is that it doesn't have a mid-level spreader. So what that means is that all the legs can be adjusted independently of each other, and you can basically just put this on any sort of very variable surface. So if you're out and you're on a boulder or something and the terrain varies widely, you can see that you can make independent adjustments to all three legs. So I have all three of them at different angles. And yeah, so a mid-level spreader would not allow you to do that. So the disadvantage of not having, or I guess the disadvantage of a tripod like this that doesn't have a mid-level spreader is that it's possibly just not as stable as one with a mid-level spreader. I think that, so I've had this tripod for, I think I got it last summer, so I've had it for almost a year, or I guess maybe 2/3 of a year. I found it to be pretty stable for using some big cameras on. The maximum load capacity of it is 55 pounds, so you can carry quite a bit of weight, but you would want to if it weren't stable. So it's 4.98 pounds, so just a hair under 5. It feels really light. Like it's hard to feel where that 5 pounds is. This is the aluminum version. Benro also makes a carbon fiber version, which is about 1.5 pounds lighter, but it's also $250 more expensive. So like I said, this one retails for $199, and the carbon fiber version retails for $450. So it's quite a bit of extra cost for a little bit of weight savings. In addition to the 75mm bowl versions, they also make 100mm bowl versions. So some more features of the tripod: it does have a bubble level on it. In addition to just being able to have the legs independently adjustable in order to accommodate variable surfaces, another good feature about this tripod is that you can get it really low to the ground. So you've got 3 different angles in which you can adjust the legs, which I've shown you already, but if you were to use all 3 legs at the same angle, you can see that this would be pretty low to the ground, but you can get even lower by putting the legs out like this, which almost looks parallel, but it's not quite parallel. You can get the camera, or you can actually get the surface here about 6 inches from the ground. So you can get some really stable, locked off, low angle shots with this tripod. So it's really similar in its capability as a hi-hat. The advantage of having a hi-hat is that you don't need quite as much surface area to put a hi-hat on as you would for this tripod. But if the surface area isn't a consideration and you just need a low angle shot, you can definitely get it with this tripod. So about 6 inches is the minimum height of the tripod, and somewhere about, I think it's 58 inches is the max height. That does have twist locks instead of a latching lock mechanism. So I'm not really sure why, because Benro makes a lot of tripods with latching locks. I would imagine that they went with the twist locks for this, just maybe for durability's sake, since it is sort of a travel tripod. And the good thing about this twist lock is that it only takes about a half turn in order to make the adjustment to the leg, so it's really easy for one person to do. You don't have to really start twisting it in order to make adjustments. And furthermore, you can actually just remove the leg section entirely. So if you've been out in a gritty or sandy environment and you need to clean it, you can actually just unscrew it completely, take it out, clean it up, and then just screw it back on. So another feature of the tripod, actually, you can adjust the tension or the ease with which you can make the adjustments. So it comes with an Allen wrench, and you can actually just loosen up these the bolts here on the legs. So if you loosen them, you can actually see how easy it is to make the angle adjustments. So you can basically just let gravity do the work, or lift the tripod up and then kind of push it down and wiggle it around, and you can adjust the angle of the legs without actually having to do it like this. The disadvantage of having the twist locks comes in just adjusting the height easily and quickly is much more difficult, because you have to unlatch them, or untwist them, pull out the legs, tighten them down, and then hope that you got them all even enough to be stable and also at the right height. So with something like a latch mechanism, typically all you have to do is unlatch them, and then you can just lift up from the top from the camera, and the legs will kind of come out on their own. And then you can eyeball it, see if you got it at the right height, and then quickly just lock all the legs down. Making the adjustments to the height and to the angle of the legs is more cumbersome with the twist lock. So in addition to the tripod, Benro actually also gives you a travel bag, or a carrying case, which is a nice carrying case, and it has a zipper pouch in it, so you can carry some items in there. What I keep in there are the claw feet, so you can easily swap out the rubber tip feet for the claw feet if you're on gravelly or muddy terrain and you need the claw feet for stability. So that's really about it as far as the tripod. Yeah, so anyway, it's just a really great travel-oriented tripod, but also makes a good studio tripod because of the load capacity. And so lastly, what I'll mention is if you're looking to build a tripod system or to buy one, for video, you've got a couple different options. So here, like I talked about, is the bowl option, but you also have tripods that just have a flat base. So if you do get a bowl adapter, well, you are going to need another couple pieces. In addition to the video head, you're going to need the bowl adapter. So here's a Benro BL75S 75mm adapter. You take your video head, which has a mounting threaded hole. So this is a 3/8 inch for a 3/8 inch screw, and then you just thread this on here. Make sure it's really tight, because you don't want it to come loose while you're actually just trying to pan. And then you drop this down into the bowl, and then screw it on, or tighten it down, I should say. The benefit of having the bowl adapter as opposed to a flat base video head, you don't have to spend all your time trying to get the legs level. If you're not on a level surface and you have to make minute adjustments to the legs in order to get the tripod level, you can forget about all that and then just get the video head level itself. There are tons of options as far as video heads are concerned, and there are definitely a couple different options as far as the bowl adapters. This is the short version that Benro makes. They also make a long version, which basically has like a shaft that comes down. The advantage of having the short version is really for a tripod like this that can get so low to the ground. If you had the long version, you would have maybe some clearance issues with the surface. The disadvantage of this is just, it's hard maybe to get your hands in here to make the adjustments, but that's not a huge deal. I've got 5 minutes. Last word on tripods. So this is, tripods are really expensive. This whole system is $500, which seems like a lot of money, and it is. But if you ever shop for tripods on, say, B&H or something like that, like all video equipment, there is a huge range in prices, but the upper end is almost limitless, it seems like. So, $500 for a nice video tripod is actually pretty reasonable. At least I think so, or I hope so anyway. But I would also just suggest that, tripods being sort of kind of an old technology, and you don't really need the latest greatest, to definitely check out the used market. So check Craigslist and check eBay, and if you get an older tripod that's been well maintained, there's no reason that it's not going to work for you for a long time. So, but also don't skimp out on, because I think a tripod is really like your most, aside from the camera and the lenses, is your most essential piece of gear. It's going to be your most flexible, versatile piece of gear. A really good video head with fluid drag controls, it's definitely a huge plus. Smaller cameras, DSLRs and mirrorless cameras, you definitely don't need a big video head like this, so you can save some pounds and you can save some weight by getting a smaller one. But I would definitely recommend one that has fluid drag, just for, you get the smoothest movement and you can adjust the drag. So yeah, that's the Benro A373T, and I hope you liked the video and found it useful, and I'll see you in another one.